We left off having encountered Nemesis for the first time and escaped into Raccoon City Police Department. Our next leg of Jill's last escape is to grab her lockpick from Star's office. We want to thank anyone who's taken this journey with us and for any support or feedback.
As always, this is Clay, and I'm joined today with Jake.
And we are Clinical Term
Nerd.
And this is part 2 of Resident Evil 3.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of our playthrough of Resident Evil 3, 1999. I do want to mention really quick that as I'm filming this, Capcom did release that the remake is getting its demo on March 19th, that is this coming Thursday, and then Resistance, which is the online multiplayer component, is getting its demo on March 27th, which should be about a week before the game comes out. And then the good news is, at least in my opinion, it doesn't appear that the demo is going to be timed like Resident Evil 2 was. So with the RE2 demo, you only had 30 minutes to play through it. So I know I will be spamming that demo until the game comes out. I am joined today by my partner, who I love so much. Jacob is with us.
Hello!
He could not be here for the last game.
He was out of town.
Yeah, he was out of town. I'm filming it in smaller segments, so this isn't a complete playthrough that I'm breaking up. I'm filming it whenever I have the time. We have a lot of time right now with the coronavirus.
Hashtag quarantine. Maybe that's what the T-virus is a strain of corona.
It could be. I do want to mention really quick that I just used Brad's Stars card to unlock the computer. I had mentioned in the last video that the first encounter with Nimi, if you choose to fight the monster, if you run around and search Brad's body, you can grab his wallet. His card is inside. You don't have to. You can still run into the RPD, and you just have to go look for Jill's, which is, I think it's called the press room. It's the room in Resident Evil 2 where if you light the fire, there's like a gem or something behind the fireplace mantle. One thing that always bothered me with this game is it does take place before RE2, which we'll get to in a little bit, but Marvin's dead. At least he appears to be dead, and I trust Jill that she would have had enough common sense to check his pulse.
Well, this is a game that is a little older, but it does have a lot of continuity errors during the visit of the Raccoon City Police Department. Even though the events of the game coincide with Resident Evil 2, some of the doors are seen barricaded and yard filled with debris, while when you get there in Resident Evil 2, that's just not the case.
It is not the case. Yeah, there's a lot of differences between 2 and 3, and then for those of you who don't know, which most people do, Resident Evil 3 takes place before and after. So the portion we are playing as right now is 24 hours before Claire and Leon get to the RPD. And then there will be a portion of the game about midway through where Jill becomes incapacitated, and then when you regain control of her, it is, I believe, 2 days after the events of RE2. It's either 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure it's 2.
Well, maybe this case Marvin was just taking a little nap, and she didn't want to disturb him. He looked real tired.
She said fatally wounded.
He looked dead tired.
And we're not going to see them for a while, but another cool fact is this is the first Resident Evil game to actually have 2 different kind of hunters. So there's the Hunter Beta and then the Hunter Gamma. The Gamma... Technically, both of them have been seen in the remake footage. The most recent showed off the Gamma, which he literally looks like a giant, uncooked piece of chicken.
He really does. I feel like I could just throw it in the crock pot.
Yeah, very slimy looking. He does have an instant kill, so he will be... If you get too close, he will literally, crack you like a cracker.
You kind of get folded in half and eaten.
Yeah. Coming up, the doorway right there, the brown door, I'm not going to go in it, but if you go through that door and then around to, I call it the press room, it may not be the press room, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called though, that's where Jill's card is. I don't know why her card isn't on her, but you would have to go there, then go back to the computer to get the key, but if you are brave enough to get Brad's card, which is not that easy, or not that hard, you can bypass that. One of the more iconic locations I feel like in any of the games is this specific save room. It's featured very heavily in RE2 and 3. It was recreated beautifully in the RE2 remake. So when I think of Resident Evil, PlayStation 1 era Resident Evil, I think of this specific room.
I definitely recognize it. Like watching you play Resident Evil 2
All the time.
on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I would have been able to, like, as soon as you ran out, I'd be like, oh, I know that room.
Yeah. And then I guess we should talk about kind of like, speaking of the series as a whole, like the popularity of it. Like this game, I know it kind of looks archaic and outdated now, but like this was a huge phenomenon, especially for the PlayStation 1. This game especially was the final numbered entry, as I stated in the last video. But it was a moneymaker for Capcom.
Yeah, prior to the release of the game, Capcom spent about $20 million on advertisement campaigns for Resident Evil 3 and Dino Crisis, as well as the N64 version of Resident Evil 2.
The N64 version of RE2. It was playable, but it was something. You know what? I'm not even going to badmouth it. It was very impressive that they were able to compress CG footage onto a cartridge. I definitely wouldn't recommend that as if you had to get a version of the original RE2 to play. I wouldn't recommend that version, but it does exist.
It is there, and that's the only option that you have.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I wanted to store everything that I didn't really want to carry with me, because once we come back downstairs, Nemesis is going to break into the RPD, and you don't really have a lot, you don't have time. I'm not going to try to, like, fight my way into the safe room.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
I got bronchitis.
So, we're going to take these guys out. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like, this game was impressive because you no longer have to wait through a loading screen for most of the staircases. I just waited through one. That's really the only one in the game. There may be a couple other ones, but for the most part, you don't have to wait for anything. Like, you can just walk right up and down the stairs. The zombies can as well now. But that's kind of why there was, like, a nice natural progression of 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3, where I just felt like they were adding mechanics to the game that are still, very relevant in the modern series. The explosive barrels were, 4, 5, 6, I believe. They're returning in 3. I don't think there's anything over here, but we're going to go check. Oh, red herb.
Also, I want to comment how you missed point blank with a shotgun. That zombie?
You know what? No, it's the zombie's fault. They were not being supportive.
Oh, it was the zombie's fault. Yeah, obviously the zombie doesn't want to get shot.
Well, not my problem. The STARS office. One thing that really always bothered me with this game as well is there's technically 2 units. There was STARS Bravo and STARS Alpha, and there's not a lot of desk in this room. Well, so, like, I feel like there was favoritism going on.
Clearly, if it was Alpha, which is, like, the top, and Bravo, which is clearly B team, so that, like, you can go in the closet. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm going to sound like a terrible Resident Evil fan. I don't remember if it's this game or part 2. I think it's part 2, where if you literally stand... It may be this one. When you stand in front of Wesker's desk, which is the desk at the other end of the room, and, like, interact with his desk like 50 times, you will get a weird photo of Rebecca Chambers in, like, a basketball uniform.
You are a terrible RE fan, because I know this, and it's 2.
Is it 2?
It is 2.
I know it was one of them.
Wow, how do I know that, not you? Because then you can also do it again in the RE2 remake,
yeah,
where it's like an updated version of that.
It might appear in this game too. You don't know everything. One thing too is the locker back there. It is randomized, so I just lucked up because I always end up getting the Magnum, and I already have. If you play on easy, you already have the Magnum. So you're either going to get a grenade launcher or the Magnum. I prefer getting the grenade launcher because, as I said, you already have one. However, if you don't get the, we'll listen to this really quick.
No, come anyone. Our platoon is cut off. No survivors found. This is Carmel. And then deploy immediately.
So yeah, quick little conversation with Carlos. So whatever gun you don't get here, when you go to the power plant, you will find another locker, and that's where you'll find the other gun. I always end up getting the grenade launcher there, but I got lucky and got it this time. So that was something that this game definitely was heavy on, is because you didn't have a second player character. It focused more on like randomizing objects and where they were. There's Nemesis.
Was it ready for Nemesis?
I am ready.
It's
Are you ready? I'm ready.
Can you keep up,
So
Nemesis?
he will appear through this window, and you can fight him. I think if you fight him this time, he will drop the other parts to the Eagle handgun. We're not going to, though, because I'm playing on easy, and he's not going to drop anything, so I'm not going to waste my ammo.
Now, can he still follow you at this point?
Yes, he will follow me in just a second. He never really, if you hang around in the locker room long enough, he will appear, but this is where he'll be right on my tail. So, there he is.
He's so fast.
He's very fast.
So you're ready for the remake, him like just getting that tentacle and just like...
I mean, the tentacle's in this game, but not as early, and I'm not sure if my controller's going to be able to withstand my sweaty palms from him literally leaping in front of you when you're trying to run. Like, remember back in the day, like, this being the pinnacle of, like, this is so realistic, I feel like I'm actually there, and now it's like, no, this is actual, like, I'm going to have a heart attack playing that game.
So why not grab the last green herb?
I'm going to save space because I'm pretty sure coming up there's going to be a blue one maybe, or like something that I need. I don't know. I don't really need it, so I'm not going to grab it for now. I know there's an item box coming up in the parking garage, but just in case there's any items that we need, I'm going to leave a space open for it.
Okay. So no, in the original game, blue herbs healed you from being poisoned.
It is the same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
Ooh, what can poison you in this?
More
snakes?
There's not snakes. I'm pretty sure it's the brain suckers might be able to poison you if they like spit on you. And maybe Gravedigger. I think it is Gravedigger will poison you. The brain sucker should be right behind me right there. Yeah, I always grew up calling these brain suckers. I guess some people do. I didn't realize that they're actually called like drain demos. They're appearing in the remake, but they look super, super tiny. They almost look like little crabs or spiders, so I'm hoping that those are, like, the babies and you will encounter a larger one, but if not, like, they're, like, ankle high. They haven't shown any footage of it, but they did confirm that they will have a animation where if they grab you, they will put their... I don't know what you want to call
Offspring.
it. Yeah, like, they will literally, like, regurgitate down your throat.
They're going to use an ovipositor.
Yeah. And then you have a limited amount of time to take a healing item, or else like they will explode from her stomach, just like the xenomorph alien, which is going to be very interesting but gruesome to watch.
I'm going to let it happen once just so you can see it.
Yeah. I'm going to be nice and let the pages linger long enough in case anybody wants to read them, because I know sometimes when I'm watching like gameplays, I'm like... keep going, I don't need to read that. And then other times I'm like, wow, you're just speeding through there, what if I wanted to read that? So
there must be a boss fight coming up, because they just gave you a lot of...
Well, I think we come back through here at one point, because we need to come back and... we have to come back and use the fire hose to put out the fire in that alleyway to get a part for the subway, so we have to come back through here. And we are going to be encountering Nemesis a lot more, so I think that's why, because I'm pretty sure he can infect you as well.
So when you mix all of them together, how's that? What does that do?
Just like a super herb, whatever you want to call it. Like you get the green or green and green. Well, it'll heal you. Green and red is good, but like if you add a blue in there, like basically if you're poisoned, like that, it'll do everything. So to heal you completely, even if you're in danger, it'll bring you back up to fine. And then if you're poisoned, it'll take care of it. So you always want to have blue herbs, especially in like this game or games where there are enemies that can poison you. I'm pretty sure in this parking garage, there's like a little flower box full of blue herbs as well. We're going to take these guys out really quick.
Growing up, the dogs scared the shit out of me. Like, they were the scariest thing to me were the dogs.
It's funny that you mentioned that because in the last video I talked about where I feel like I associate certain games with certain enemies, and I always associate Jill, where if Jill's going to be in a video game, there's going to be hunters. If Leon or Claire's going to be in a game, there's going to be, like, lickers. But the dogs are the one enemy that has appeared in every game, if not almost every game. And I feel like in some games, they're more dangerous than others. Because I feel like in RE Remake, in this game, they're not really... A couple handgun rounds or shotgun will put them down. But I feel like in 2, they're a pain in the ass.
Well, okay, so the reason why it scared me distinctly, because when I was young, when the first one originally came out, I was going to be like, I'm brave, I can play this, and running down that hallway where the dog jumps through the window made me turn it off.
You were done. You're like,
I was done. I threw the controller. I was like, nope, can't, sorry.
You wrote a strongly worded email to Capcom.
Yeah. I put on my Karen wig, and I wanted to speak to a manager, and yeah. So that's why I think the dogs, like, have, like, this, like, this almost, like, childhood fear, like, attached to it.
I'm going to grab this. This is one of the parts that you need for the cable car. We can't use it right now. We have to get through the City Hall puzzle first, but I'm going to go ahead and grab it just because it's one less thing to get a backtrack for, even though we will be coming back through here. You need 3 items. I know it's the power cable, the oil, and I think the fuse, which the oil, I believe, is the one that's at the power plant. One of the 2 is at the power plant. Take these handgun ammo.
So how do you feel about the cable car becoming a subway?
I'm fine with it. I think it makes more sense. Even in 1999, I feel like if it's a major metropolitan city like this, they should have had a subway system more than a cable car.
Mm-hmm.
I think for story purposes, it makes more sense for... I wonder if I should have grabbed more shotgun shells. I definitely should have grabbed more shotgun shells. But I think for... It just makes more sense that if you're going to use the...
Ooh, nice dodge.
I know, thank you. If you're going to use the vehicle as, like, a battering ram to get through a portion of the city, I'm going to go back for the shotgun shells. It just makes more sense to have a subway car versus a cable car.
So we just saw the pet store, the Eagles Pet Shop. And
We
this is
did.
A reference to Eagle from the Street Fighter series.
It is. There's actually a lot of Easter eggs to the Capcom games. There's going to be a bunch in the RE3 remake, especially. That's kind of one of the fun things about these games is, like, Dead Rising had a shop in the mall called Jill's Sandwich.
There it is.
Eagles Pet Store. There is...
Do they sell eagles there?
They probably do. You know, growing up, I always thought that was Beagle, which is funny because now I own 2 Beagles.
Is that where your obsession?
Yeah, I was like, if Jill can run past a Beagle shop, then I can own 2 of them. I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like a Sakura or something. Is the shop behind Leon and Claire whenever their car crashes, and that's like another Street Fighter character with the name flipped. I don't play Street Fighter, so I don't remember what the name of the character was. So, this is the Brain Sucker. They're not very difficult to deal with, at least on easy. They're not really that difficult on hard either.
They look like the cockroach things from 5.
They remind me of cockroaches, yeah. Like, people are always like, oh, they're like some other animal, and I'm like, they look like a cockroach to me. Like, that's what they act like. They're at least an insect. They will be reappearing, but they do look a lot tinier. At least what we've seen so far. I don't know if that's going to be I don't know if you'll encounter, like, maybe, like, the mother or, like, I don't know. We did just pass, another fun fact, is we just passed a movie theater, if I can talk, and there's actually a poster hanging there for Biohazard 4. That was another Easter egg, because Capcom was already in, like, pre-planning for Biohazard 4, but most people agree that the Biohazard 4 that was actually featured as the poster probably ended up becoming Devil May Cry, because it's widely known that one of the earlier versions of Resident Evil 4 was so far from, like, the series norm that they decided to just scrap it, but then they're like, well, instead of getting rid of it, let's just turn it into its own game, so it became Devil May Cry. So any Devil May Cry fans, you can thank Resident Evil.
Well, I am a Devil May Cry fan, so...
And you can thank Resident Evil.
It's funny. So you enjoy the Resident Evil games, and I enjoy the Devil May Cry games. So
You're welcome.
whatever.
So another fact is Michael Warren is the mayor, and his daughter is the dead body that is in Resident Evil 2 that the chief is like taxidermying.
Seriously, they made a disgusting character out of the chief of police.
He's such a pig.
Like, not only is he like child dapper and like a dirty cop, but he's also like an actual dirty human, like taxidermy.
Yeah. I think that speaks to like the character development going from the originals to the remake. It's just they made them very realistic because there's like somebody out there that would actually be like him. We're going to take this item over here and open up this gate. We're not really going to go down there, at least not right now, because there's going to be our first interaction with Carlos face-to-face, and then Nimi is going to appear.
What's that? Calm down, lady. I'm no zombie. My name's Carlos, Corporal of Umbrella's Biohazard Countermeasure Force. What's your name?
Jill, did you just say you belong to Umbrella's army?
Yeah, we came all the way out here to save you civilians, but the mission went bad the minute we landed.
How did you find me?
So we got to see Carlos.
We did. Do you want to touch on that? Your fun fact about Carlos?
I love the fact when he's like, my accent, the ladies can't get enough of it. It's the last time you hear him have an accent. Like, he drops it very quickly.
It was funny whenever I watched a lot of like Resident Evil videos from other YouTubers, and I never realized that apparently the community calls him Green Leon, and I'm like, that's kind of racist. But then I'm like looking at him, like, I guess he does look a little bit like Leon, but I never associated the two together. Like, he was always Carlos to me. We just never see him again.
I need to ask you something. Why did Umbrella send your team here?
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place, those liars.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it.
Yeah, so Nimi does not stay down very long. What were we going to say?
Okay, man, she's pissed.
She's very aggressive for, like, those liars. But, like, also she's like that in the remake as well, where she's, like, yelling at him in the subway, because she's like, they're the ones that caused all this.
But it's, like, not as, like, dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, you know my opinion on the voice acting in these in early games. Like,
they get better as they go on.
Yeah, oh no, the remakes are fantastic, but, like, these ones, like, I feel like they just went out to the street, and they're like, you're a woman.
So we're going to take this crank. We're going to use it to attempt to open the gas station, but you can't really... It's going to break. Spoiler alert. So we're going to have to wait till we get the wrench, which is at the cable car. But I think I am going to end it here for now. This has been part 2. I want to thank everybody who tuned in for part 2 and needs support. And I also want to state again that the remake is getting a demo. It does come out on March 19th, which is this coming Thursday, right before Animal Crossing. And then the online component, Resistance, is getting its demo on 3/27, so about a week before the game comes out. It doesn't appear that the demo is timed, so that's good. I hated the 30-minute window. I know I was making multiple accounts to play it. And then I also want to remind everybody to pre-order the game, because that is right now the only way you're going to get Jill's original costume. And also Carlos, but Carlos looks busted.
He looks like an 85-year-old white man.
Yeah, he looks bad, but she looks good. I mean, who doesn't like the tube top and the sweater that she doesn't use?
Going out to party.
Yeah, so this has been Clinical Term Nerd. You can find us on our podcast. You can find us on Instagram. We do release new episodes weekly for our podcast, and we're going to try to do more of these gaming videos. We're going to learn how to edit them and have fun with it as we go along. So I know they're not like the best out there, but we are proud of them. I am Clayton.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Clinical Term Nerd. Thanks for watching.
Later, nerds.